let me start with that.
Yeah.
How, how did you get to know each other?
Okay. We got to meet when even before he became a PC chief, no?
Before pa.
Yeah, before, because as I said, my father was a congressman for 4 terms,
Okay.
and his executive secretary was Pilo Ramos, the uncle of President Ramos.
Oh,
So we've known each other for quite some time.
kabataan pa.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. You remember how far back that is?
That was in the 90s, before the 90s.
Okay, before the 90s. Oh,
Mm.
wow. Okay. But what was he then? I mean, he was a PC chief na or constabulary?
Constabulary.
Uh-huh.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, he was also a member of the cabinet ni Cory.
Well, that was already 80s and all.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. And when did it become really close? Your interaction with him?
Okay. You know, when he ran for president,
Okay.
no, he stayed in my house. Kasi meron na kaming in my house, Maria Luisa.
Okay.
So, it was really amazing, you know. He left early morning
Okay.
and he arrived already at about 11, 12. And what was amazing,
In the evening?
and what was amazing, at 4 o'clock in the morning, he was already in my phone being interviewed in the radio. Me as host, I had to be awake. I got more tired than him.
But you hosted him at your house.
Yes.
I mean, you don't host anyone. I mean, stranger or all.
Yeah.
How I mean, you knew each other before that.
Yes.
Okay. So you're a supporter.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Why him?
Okay.
There were several other candidates. Remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Like when he ran for president, he lost in the convention to Mitra.
Yes, he did.
Okay. It was only my father who stayed with him in his Pasay office and stayed with him for a long time. The rest, they left already. So he tried to convince the President Ramos na if you get the endorsement of Cory, you run. Oh, and practically, Papa stayed there for a few hours. The rest, umalis na sila eh.
Oh, well, they felt down. They were
Yeah.
medyo frustrated.
But Papa was there to really motivate him. Huwag mong bitawan yun.
What did your father see in FVR that you have to push on?
Yeah. Alam mo, my father being a politician and close to the Ramos, no, so he was convincing President Ramos, you run as long as you have the endorsement of Cory. And in fact, since I was also quite close to Cory, I was one of those friends of Cory that she asked me who was my preference. So spontaneously, I told her, Eddie Ramos.
Oh. She sought your advice as well. She sought your...
Ano, from time to time, I was quite close to Cory because also Cory stayed in my house.
Oo nga.
Dalawa lang. Dalawa lang. Cory and Ramos.
You hosted presidents at your home. But, okay. Why him? Yun nga. Why FDR?
You know, why him?
What did you see in him that you didn't see in the other candidates?
No, his, you may call it his leadership,
Okay.
no? His devotion to his work and love for country. Nakikita ko sa kanya.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Can you tell me some examples of what you saw?
What was that?
No, some examples. Devotion to his work, to the
Yeah.
country.
Okay. At one time, a very big company wanted to buy San Miguel.
Oh, okay.
But it was not narrated to me by the president, but it was narrated to me by one of the potential buyers.
Okay.
In fact, they were about to close, but the president was always concerned, we are replacing somebody again with some foreign interests.
As a foreigner ito.
Foreigner. No? Of course, controlled by the Filipinos, but literally controlled by an ASEAN foreigner.
Okay.
So, and my friend told me that, no, let's forget it. I do not want to be accused that I am favoring somebody. And this is where you can see his being nationalistic and love for country.
Oh, okay. Okay. What about the work ethic? You said that he was driven. There was a passion for work.
Yeah. I guess at one time I was then a director of DBP.
Oh.
I was the longest director, from Cory to FVR. So, in one of our board meeting, I asked Secretary Bacaraig, yata,
Yeah.
who do you think is the most efficient secretary? Spontaneously, he said, Ramos. So, tinanong namin sa board, why? Why Ramos? Whenever he attends a cabinet meeting, he is always prepared and detalya in anything. He anticipates everything. So that's why they said he was the most efficient.
Oh, okay. He stayed at your house, left at 4 in the morning, started taking interviews, and then arrived at 11.
Yes. And the following day, 4 a.m., in-interview na siya sa radio, sa TV.
The same again.
Oh.
Same routine. Oh my gosh.
Ako nga napaguran, I'm not used to that. But if you look at him, he was still fresh.
Oh my goodness. You're the head of your own organization. Do you put in those hours like that he does? I mean,
No, I don't. I go to the office early, but not as early as him. So I'm normally there before 8, and I leave about the last one to leave.
but let me get to the campaign. So yeah, obviously you were supporting your family.
Yes.
You supported him. Your father was apparently one of his closest
Yes.
advisors in politics and all. Wasn't that an uphill climb? I mean, he did not really have a political organization, didn't really have that much financial resources. Is that true, or
That's
did you see
true,
otherwise?
but an endorsement by Cory.
Oh, that was crucial.
Oh, yes. And then the image of FVR was very good.
Okay, reputation.
Yeah, reputation.
Oh man, he was a military man, very closely associated with the martial law
Yes, so.
of President Marcos.
Oh.
That didn't bother you?
Not at all. Because you may call it, we were really loyalists to FBR. Anyway, wala naman kaming interest with Marcos. And I'd been close to FBR, to Cory. I have never asked a single favor. So that's why we have maintained the friendship.
Over the years. Yeah. So, okay. Tell me, he eventually won.
Yes.
Became president 1992. Where was Philippine business at the time? Where did we stand by ourselves? Where did we stand against our neighbors? What
Okay.
was the state? Your view.
Yeah. At the time, I have to go back to Cory because it was Cory who removed the coconut monopoly.
Okay.
But then, with the series of coup d'etat, well, let me just elaborate. The coconut levy was something like 40% of the Visayas, Mindanao income to the farmers.
Right.
No?
Right.
And it was at the time you can really see the economy booming. You see appliances, lahat, no? But then with the series of coup d'etat, nag-slow down ng konti.
Yeah.
But then, fortunately, Ramos came into the picture with his leadership and dynamism. Then, and he is also a uniting force. So you can see that the confidence of the businessmen were very favorable.
Andun ba from the beginning yung confidence level? O, I mean, businessmen, I mean, you generally are skeptic. Di ba? You study first the environment and then when you see that there's potential, you come in. Di ba? Kay FVR ba, pinag-aralan niyo muna?
No, sa kay FVR, wala kaming pinag-aralan. Because as I said, we operate on our own. And as a businessman, I was always a cockeyed optimist.
Oh.
So, his coming into the picture strengthened my confidence in the country.
Okay. Okay. Were there any particular programs or aspects of his vision, governance, economic initiatives, that you were particularly keen about, that he should push through with it? Ano yung nakita mo?
No,
You were into shipping at the time?
yes, yes.
That was the core of
Yeah,
the
core and logistics.
business
No?
at the time?
Yeah, at that time, the country was already moving. No? And then President Ramos had very good cabinet members.
Oh.
And he was quite close to the business community because of his leadership style na malinis, no? Walang mga vested interests.
Oh. Okay.
That was one factor. That's why I said his love for country comes first.
He wanted to, if you remember when he came in, deregulate, liberalize, and if possible, break the monopolies that he felt was strangling the economy at the time. Did you share the same vision?
Yes. In fact, PLDT was a monopoly. And during his time,
yeah.
And you can see the impact, meron ng competition. In the end, I am a believer of a free market. That's why earlier I said, during the time of Cory, the coconut price globally was, say, 5 pesos. Being a monopoly, the farmers were only paid half the price. So, and then when Cory removed that, you can see the economy really, and just like what
Changed.
Ramos has done, you can see a big change through the free market.
So, yeah. You supported his vision of opening up
Yes.
the economy. Shipping, he wanted to modernize that industry as well. Tell me about that. Tell me
Yeah.
about his
No,
initiative.
no, that was his
Transportation.
program, liberalize. No?
Mhm.
On our part, we have always modernized our shipping at the time.
Mm.
In fact, Cebu-based,
Mhm.
we were the only ones who bought brand new vessel
Mm.
in the 70 and 72.
Mhm.
So brand new yun from Japan.
Mhm.
And the rest we bought second hand.
Mhm.
So we've always been in modernization, we've always been the leader.
Mm.
So when we got out of shipping, we were also the leader.
Eventually, logistics and
Yeah, so what we did when we left shipping,
Mhm.
we focused on our logistics, on our warehousing,
Mhm.
on our distribution,
Mhm.
and franchise of Hyundai and Mitsubishi.
Oh.
And that more than tripled our return in shipping.
Okay. Did you join him in his visits overseas? Sumasama ka ba yun?
Yes. In all his trips, I was with him, except his trip to Russia.
Oh,
Yeah, I missed that.
all.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So
Oh.
you were part of the business delegation,
Yes.
diba? Of they called it Team Philippines, tama ba?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about Team Philippines. I mean, why was it important that he wanted you guys to be there?
Okay. As president of the country,
Mhm.
he is really our number one salesman.
But that's what he called himself.
I don't know. So, and you can see that, no? And he had a very good, a very principled leader.
Mhm.
So we had an opportunity to exchange views
Mhm.
with the different foreigners, no? We exchanged ideas because at that time, when you look at the ASEAN, we had almost 500 million population. And the foreigners, I would presume, they can see that earlier than us. So when you have the president of the Philippines, they are all gung-ho to attend all his talks, his conferences, no? And that has...
Oh yeah, you noticed that?
Yes. Iba. That's why, as I said, it's different if the president personally visit the different countries. And we have seen him all over.
But I understand he put you guys to work also.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How did he get you guys to
No, he
Team
would,
Philippines to?
he would always assign us in our own specialty, since I was in transportation, no, and logistics. That is where I gave my biggest contribution. No, so at one time I think that was a meeting in Australia or New Zealand, where during the lunch I was surprised. He called me, "Oh, we have somebody here from the shipping." So I had the opportunity to just introduce our company.
Pinatrabaho niya kayo.
Yes.
Di ba?
Wow.
Tell me what it was like being part of those delegations. I mean, were you gung-ho about joining it, or you joined all of them, kamo, di ba?
Yeah. We were...
Nung umpisa ba, did you expect na it was going to be that way? Get all of you to work even though,
Since I have known him for quite some time,
okay.
I knew that that is what he will do. And all of us, we have seen as I said, being the number one salesman, an opportunity to exchange ideas with the different foreigners. And likewise, the foreigners would also listen to us.
Tell me about yung shipping, breaking up the there were other aspects of the industry, ports, diba? Tell me how that impacted as well on improving the business environment.
Well, it takes time.
Inter-island.
To develop the port. No? Matagal talaga yun. In fact, that was one of our concerns.
Okay.
The port congestion. It will take several presidents to decongest. Then our cargo handling was not also adequate. No? Unlike in other countries, it's all professionally run. They don't have to invest in forklift. They don't have to invest in other equipment. All we do in the developed country, they just bring the container and the rest is handled by the cargo group. That is what we lacked during our time. And, yung investment mo, double. You have to invest in forklift, you have to invest equipment lang.
And then the infrastructure has got to be there also. Was he able to address that?
Not during his time, but he started something.
Okay.
As I said, it will take a long gestation. Hanggang ngayon, di pa tapos eh.
Ongoing pa, no?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. At first, were your foreign counterparts, what was the reception nung bago si Presidente? And then what was the reception as it developed, as he was introducing more and more reforms into the economy?
It made the president's trip easier because they have seen his development, his enthusiasm for the country. And these are all very astute businessmen. When they see a leader of the country spearheading the group, indirectly he motivates them. Not only the foreigner, but we Filipinos.
Okay. And eventually, they just really, jumped at the opportunity to do business? Ikaw, may mga challenges ka ba na at first, nandun, and then eventually, nawala na because of what FVR was doing?
What was that?
Did you have initial challenges doing business, and then you saw improvements happening eventually as FVR's term progressed?
On our part, I cannot recall where we had concerns.
Oh, okay.
So, as I said earlier, we were a believer that sariling sikap. So, we were never dependent on the government, but we were dependent on our entire organization. And we were among the few shipping lines who had cargo handling all over Visayas, Mindanao, and that helped our shipping.
But your company eventually went public?
Yes, we were the first one to go public.
Ano ba?
O kami yata yun. No.
One.
Wait, Negros was the first one. We were the second one.
Oh, okay.
But in the outside of Negros, we were the first one.
But that was, again, because business was getting to be very good. Diba? You took advantage. But eventually, later on, you divested from that.
No, later on, three of us merged together. That was the Gothong, the Aboitiz, and
Aboitiz.
William Nines.
Yeah, yeah.
Tawag nila WG&A.
Okay. I wanted to ask you anyway. So you told us already where we were when we started. Where did he take the economy by the time he was closing out his administration?
No, the economy has improved.
Mm-hmm.
No? And freeing the market was a big factor, plus the quality of his leadership.
Leadership ang ano talaga, no? Ang
He had
nakikita
a
ko
vision,
sa'yo. Oo.
then unfortunately, yun, and the integrity.
You think he was able to accomplish everything that he wanted to accomplish?
I don't think so.
People said he needed another 6 years maybe.
Yes.
Talaga? You too? There was an attempt to allow him to run for a second term.
But I do believe in our Constitution. Even if I am close to FVR, I do not want to give him another 6 years. And for that matter, I would like to apply that principle to all the presidentials.
6 years lang talaga.
Yeah.
Ano? Okay. Your own take on FVR's management style, technique. What did you observe and how good was it? Or was it something that you picked up as well?
You know, he can stress talaga niya is the leadership. He can inspire and motivate the community. I think that was his real strength. And tsaka walang vested interest.
Okay, okay.
When you look at, except for Cory and President Ramos, the rest, si Noy, walang vested interest rin.
Interesting though, but that he was able to get a group of businessmen together, no? And you were all competing against each other. I mean, how did he do that? How did get you all to sit down and, you know, hear out his message?
In the transportation, we were probably only one or two who joined him, no? But we were so used to cutthroat competition, so we can adjust with anybody.
Oh, okay.
Sanay na kami dyan.
But he brought all of you together
Yeah.
eventually.
And then we became closer. One way or another, we have interrelated relationship. San Miguel was also our customer. PLDT was also our customer.
But at the same time, they were also your competitors to a certain extent.
Yes.
Diba?
Oh.
Interesting how you got you guys together.
No, because as I said, we all had our common interests to help and serve FBR.
Okay. Okay. Disciple ka. You're a believer
Yeah.
in him, di ba? Okay, so this is really. Let me just get back to that point where Tita Cory's endorsement. How did you eventually convince Mrs. Aquino, you, your dad, your group of associates? What did you do to convince her to endorse FVR?
You know, I am not even sure if I am probably one of the 100 or 1,000 that she asked.
Okay.
So I cannot tell you categorically what convinced her. But I would presume among her cabinets, And when you look at the presidential ball at the time, nakikita ni Cory that this is the guy that can move forward. But I guess she saw in Ramos the quality that she was hoping.
Okay. And when she did ask you, you did tell her, Eddie Ramos.
Yes, spontaneously.
Okay. 6 years of FVR. His term ended in 1998. How have you guys stayed connected through the years? Does he still stay at your place when he visits?
No, this time not anymore. But until now, I am still a member of his foundation.
Oh, okay.
Until now.
Wow. RPDEF.
Yeah.
What's it like when you see each other? What's it
As
like?
if we've known, no, parang long friends. Eddie is a very personable person. Sometimes I would see him in one affair. Parang hindi siya presidente eh. He calls me all the time by my first name. So parang you are so comfortable when you are with him.
Long-time friends. What do you see as a friend that people don't see? You've said that he's personable, that he's thoughtful. What do you see? What do you know that people don't know
Alam mo,
about
mahirap
FVR?
sagutin yun because I do not know what is also in their mind. So what they see and what I can just relate to you is what I see in him.
Okay. What do you, ano yung nakikita mo as a close friend of 40 years already, 50 years?
You know, from the time he became president and when he became ex-president, he was still the same person.
Did not change?
Hindi nagpapalit.
Okay.
That's why at one time I hosted a golf tournament because he wanted that. Then ano pa yung other affairs, no?
You play golf also?
I used to play. I played golf until 1972.
Oh,
But since then, I've been jogging.
okay. Hindi kayo nag-golf together? Sayang.
No.
Okay. Is there an FBR legacy on Philippine business and economic development which remains to this day, which is still there?
Alam mo, the foundation of a free economy will always be there. No? And hindi yun mawawala. And the quality of leadership and integrity, hindi yun mawawala. People will always remember you, just like Cory.
Ganun ba? Okay. Why is it important to remember those initiatives that he started, that legacy that he left?
Why is it important? It is important because most of the things that he has done was really for country. And if the country will benefit, we will also benefit. So as I said, provided you have an upright leadership, the rest will follow. Because in the private sector, most of us are not dependent on the government, but sa sariling sikap namin, no? And our organization, like on our part. Earlier, I told you we employ something like about 10 to 11,000 nationwide. No? And there are only two of us, my son, Willie, as president, me as chairman. The rest are all professionals who has grown with us. And we attribute our growth and profitability to our professionals. In the same token, that if we have a leader like FVR, the rest will follow.
I'm good.
Okay?
Thank you very much.